Good afternoon. Now record 6th of October. This is our second session of a 10-week course, and today we're doing 2-point perspective, which means we have 2 vanishing points, and we're drawing a cottage, little building based on a place in Bothy in West Wales. It doesn't actually matter what it is, it's just that the building happens to be a particularly good one for drawing this 2-point perspective exercise. So, right, before we go anywhere, I'm going to, where am I going? I'm clicking on my website browser over here, looking for the web page, which I should have had ready, but I was too busy trying to scoff my lunch there. Right. Actually, I'm going to screen share.
Yeah.
So you can see where I'm going.
Oh, yes, lovely.
So this website page here is category gallery. I've been wondering what to call this page for ages, because sometimes I use this artwork for tutoring and sometimes just for my pleasure. So it's all a bit of both. But whatever happens, if you click on one of these pictures, it will take you through to some kind of reference material, whether it be videos or step-by-step references. And if we go down here, we can see the cottage, and there's a drawing, and there's the watercolour with pen and ink. They both go through to this page. And we can see the drawing here, which is a practice sketch, and the video to accompany this, which we'll take a look at now, because this is what we'll be doing today. So this is our first vanishing point. Sometimes the vanishing point goes off the page to settle on the horizon. Now you may want to do this with a ruler. I don't tend to use a ruler anymore, but you know, it probably would be best if you had a ruler to hand. It would help. And by drawing in this way, we create buildings that are more realistic and in perspective.
Right.
And then
you froze.
You disappeared.
We couldn't hear you.
The sound disappeared and the video stopped, but we could still see
right,
you.
okay, I'm going back to where we were. Oh, before I go on, while I remember, right, this morning, somebody, this happened to somebody this morning, they dropped off and they weren't able to get back in because I was concentrating on tutoring. I didn't see that they were trying to get back into the class. So I'm going to pop my, I'll answer this now. I'm going to pop my number into the chat box. It's actually on the bottom of my email. So 07941 361 430. So if by any chance this drops off and you can't get back in, if you ring the phone, it will buzz.
Okay.
And I will probably see then that you're trying to get back in. I'll be able to admit you. I just prompt. I might not answer the phone. I might just try and see that you're, because I can't. I just can't keep looking back and forth.
No,
It's fine.
no problem.
That's all right then. That's good. And also, if you can't ever make it to a class or you're going to be very late, do the same thing. Just give me a text or buzz when you want to come in. Like I say buzz, it's because my phone's on vibration. But okay.
Yeah.
Right. Let's get back to screen share. It's all a learning curve, just working on technology.
Yeah. Oh gosh, for all of us, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. I think we were up to here, weren't we?
Well, we're back a bit back from there.
No.
Go back a bit.
Oh, let's just go back to the beginning. It's only a minute.
Yeah,
Right,
pretty short.
so first thing that's important is a horizon line.
Yeah.
Roughly about a third of the way up the picture, slightly over. 2 vanishing points where every parallel line in the picture creates what would be a horizontal leading towards that vanishing point, but it doesn't look like a horizontal because it's slightly diagonal, but the reality is it's, if you were stood by that building, they would be horizontals. This video is just for reference really. I'm talking over it, but I'm going to talk through every step with you.
No, that's all right. I was trying to draw it.
Have you finished, Julie?
And you got the chimney.
So this is practice drawing, and what I haven't done yet, which I'll do now, I'm going to, oh, here we go. There's the right one. Drawing and painting in watercolours. I'm going to post the photograph. Oh, you get to see the inside of my computer. It's like the inside.
Oh my God.
Buildings. Where are you? I think I put it under the landscapes. Oh. Must be. Oh, I know. Sorry. Excuse me. It's in the temp folder. I'm having one of them moments. Right. Let's open that one. We'll pop it in there. So it's kind of based on this picture here.
That's beautiful.
Lovely.
So,
Oh,
Live in it.
It's gorgeous.
no, mine's not going
all
to.
right, isn't it? There's actually another scene of this. It's the same place. I couldn't actually decide, but you might like to try this one as well. It's the same building, just at a slightly different angle. It's another option. So there's that one as well.
Ooh.
But this building, it's below the horizon line. So you can see the horizon line here. And the other building is below the horizon line. And that's not what I wanted to teach you today. I wanted to teach you when the building, you know, is above and below the horizon line.
Yes.
It's more typical for drawing buildings. So the picture is more about the technique rather than it being the best picture.
Right.
Okay. Right now. So that's on the cluster gallery. It's there. If you want to get it up, you can. But really, we're just going to practice the 2-point perspective drawing, and the reference material is there when you need it. If you need it. Where's my charcoal? Oh, it's under there. Right. So I'm using charcoal because you can see it on the bird's eye view, but really, you know, feel free to use pencil and a ruler if you wish. I won't be using a ruler.
You will or you won't?
I won't be.
No.
No, I normally just my lines are fairly accurate nowadays, so
You've had a few years practice.
they're enough. You know, sometimes I actually quite like the little bit of variation. You know, to just make it look like a drawing. Otherwise, it looks very graphical. But I do recommend drawing with a ruler so that all your lines match up.
This is just practice, though, isn't it? We're not.
It's just practice, yeah. This is
Okay.
a day where you can just go a bit wrong if you want to.
No, I don't
One thing I go wrong.
like going wrong.
What's happened?
Oh, she's
Right,
got
I'm spotlighting.
it.
Oh, yeah, my voice keeps going. I need a voice coach.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm breathing enough deeper down into my larynx. Right, okay. So I'm drawing a line for the horizon. This is the first line that you need. I'm dragging it across the page. It's slightly more than a third of the way up. And I'm probably going to end up drawing on my board. You may go off your paper slightly. So our building, if you were stood in the field and looking at the building, you would measure the wall or the corner of the building that's closest to you, which is the front part. So hang on, let me just draw a little bit up here. Now we've got the roof going up there. So this corner here is the closest corner to you.
Right. Yes.
Okay, so you would, if in reality you were outside and you were drawing this building, you would take this measurement first and you would use a method called site measurement. Has anyone heard of site measurement?
I think I know what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it when you do that?
Using your pencil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
yes, that's
Do
right.
Do it.
Yeah, you hold out your pencil out in front of you. You hold it out in front of you and you go to that top part. Your arm is out at full length
Yeah.
in the same position. You put the pencil on the top point and then you draw your thumb down. You think, that's my measurement for the building that's in the landscape that I'm drawing. That's one way of doing it. You could just make a judgment and draw a line. That the picture that I showed you, the line was fairly equal distance above and below the horizon. Well, the whole building was above and below the horizon, excuse me, sorry. The front wall went up just above the horizon. The whole building is about this height, but we'll work that out later. The main thing is that you need to start with your first vertical line that's nice and straight going up. If you were out in the field, you would use site measurement to figure out that measurement, but that's another sort of lesson, so don't worry about that for now. And now, if you were measuring out in the field, you would put your pencil out into the air horizontally and you twist it to see the angle that the perspective lines were converging towards the vanishing points. Now, for the sake of the drawing, in general, it's going to be over here, about, still on the page on this side, and if the building's about this big, I suppose it's about another building's width away. But if you were measuring this, if you were using the photograph, you'd be able to use the ruler and take the angle up and see where it landed on the horizon. You could be able to do this on that side and look where it was going. And if you were out in the field, you'd be able to make the pencil horizontal in your view of vision and then turn it to see the angle. For the purposes of this practice drawing, I know it's roughly over here. And then I'm going to draw a straight line to that vanishing point. And the important thing is that everything that is going this way, everything that's on this side, the vanishing point is over here.
Oh.
And you'll notice that these converging lines over here are probably going to come off the page, and I need to extend. I've done it before actually, it'll come right off to the edge. A similar distance away from the central point. This is to here. Pop it over there. Not an exact science. This is practice drawing. The main point of this drawing is that we're using two vanishing points. There's vanishing point 1, and that's vanishing point 2. And now we need to draw a straight line from here to this point. Almost straight. And then from that point, sometimes I use different coloured pencils.
Oh, yeah.
You know, sometimes that helps. It is possible to do that, but I'm not doing that today.
I'm going to forget the ruler. Oh.
If we were out in the field, we would go back to our measuring stick. We knew that this was that height. We would be like, oh, okay, the height of that wall, we measured that, and we mark that down. Now we want to know this width. So we would we could measure that from the photograph or make a judgment, or we would go horizontally with our measuring tool, put it on one side and draw the thumb down, and we would know that the width of this side of the building was a certain width. I'm going to make it about this because that's what looks about right. So this then becomes the side of the building. Got two parallels vertical to each other, and the very important thing about 2-point perspective is that all the verticals are parallel and upright to each other. Unless, of course, the house is wonky, and then you've got all the subsidence going on in his
Yeah.
This is when the house was just built. And there was no subsidence. So in the same manner, this you would be out in the field and you would measure the width of the front of the building. I'm just going to make a judgment and say it's a little bit more than twice that size. It probably isn't, but as long as my vertical is parallel to these, I will have a realistic looking building. Oh, temperature's dropped off. I'm just going to put
You know what? Yeah, I was thinking the same here. Good.
There we go. Right. Now, a nice little trick that I'm not sure if I learned or if I come up with, but it's definitely a method that works, is this side here. If you were stood right in front of it, it would be a rectangle. Your horizontals would be parallel to each other, and your verticals would be parallel to each other. Now, to find the center of this box, we draw a diagonal from one corner to the other corner. This will give you a measurement in the center. That's a halfway point, both vertically and horizontally. So, the halfway point here is not halfway between these 2 points. In order to find it, you draw a diagonal from corner to corner. I mean, it may be very close to a halfway point between here and here, but this part of the wall, because it's in perspective, the wall will get smaller, and the only way to find this center point is to do a diagonal from corner to corner like so. All okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 I just had a feeling, sorry, I'm just wondering if somebody was trying to join the class late and I didn't know.
Who would that be?
It might be Jean Keegan, but she called me, but I've not had anything through from Vale Courses. I'll have to give her a call later. Right then. So to find the centre of this part of the building, and if you draw a vertical line going straight up, we now have the centre of where the roof will be. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we know the centre of this roof by this panel here, but we don't know where it is on the back. So in order to know this, we could guess it, but I'm teaching you how to find it correctly. So I'm going to do that. To find this back wall, we have to imagine the inside of the wall. We have to imagine the inside of the building and the wall over here. And to do that, we need to take a line from here to here and do the similar thing from here to here. So definitely need your ruler for doing this. I'm just going to put it from here. And the bottom part of this line is now going to go all the way over there.
Go from there.
Right.
From there. And
From the top here all the way over to vanishing point 1, and the bottom all the way over to vanishing point 100. My house is probably going to look a little bit wonky because I haven't got a ruler, but I'm fine with that. So we can start to see the inside of the wall, but I don't know the width of it. And because I've already made a decision about this wall, and this wall is the same size in reality as this wall, I have to use the measurement that I created here. Even if this is an approximation, I need to base things on this wall rather than try and guess the measurement over here. In order to do that, in the same way that I took the line from the bottom here to vanishing point 2 and the top of this corner to vanishing point 2 over here, I now need to use this line at the back, make it a bit darker, and go to vanishing point 2.
Of course. Of course.
And the top of this other corner over here, I now need to take to vanishing point 2. And yours are going to look so much better because if you're using a ruler, it's far more accurate estimation. Now, where these lines cross, they should be very much one above the other. So where they cross should be directly above each other. Now, if your line is straight and accurate, that's what you'll get. If they're like mine, all over the place, it will look a bit funky. This is the general shape of that inside back wall. You never would imagine there'd be so much to it, would you?
No. Clever stuff though, isn't that?
I feel it is because it means you'll be able to understand how to get a measurement, and the next measurement that we're going to get is one of the most difficult ones to do. And when painting, when I see paintings, I can see that somebody hasn't understood this inside bit because of it.
Yeah.
They haven't understood how to get this inside perspective. They may do quite well on this bit,
Yeah.
but this angle up here where the roof tilts becomes a bit of a mystery, and that's because we have to search inside the building and see this wall on the other side. And then we can do a diagonal from corner to corner. And where it crosses over is a point to create a vertical line that's parallel to this wall. On top of six lines within circle, and then for a vertical up here. So now I know where the center of the apex is on the front and the back. However,
Oh, no, not however. Come on.
we need to know the height of our roof. So if we were out in the field, we would measure the building from this point to here, however high that was. Now in my original drawing, I made this apex a little bit too high. But we basically have to make a decision. And I'm going to make a decision and say, this is the height of the apex on that wall.
Okay.
Okay.
Once you've made this decision, you're ahead of the game. I'm just going to make sure that you're all okay and you're. I don't want to go too fast or too at a steady pace.
I think I've got it.
Now, you all right?
Yes, fine. Thank you, Penny.
Sarah?
Yes, thank you.
Right, Julie, you all right?
Yeah.
Good, Barry?
Yeah, I'm doing good, thanks.
Okay, and Faith, you all right, huh?
Yeah, thanks.
Lovely. And David?
Yep, no problem.
Good, good. All right. Then. So now we can draw a line from here all the way to V point, so vanishing point 2.
Right.
Oh, wait a minute. Which line is that? That's...
So from the top of the apex on this wall all the way to vanishing point 2.
And that must go there.
You know, if you were sketching out in the field, you would be making the movement and then just drawing it where you needed it. You see what I'm doing? Which is why I like to practice with freehand, because if I was doing it by sight and out in the field, I wouldn't be using a ruler, but I would be making the movement to some point on the horizon, and I would try and remember where that point was. Maybe a landmass or some sort, or not a boat, because that would move. I thought that was really funny in my head. It was like the vanishing point just vanished over the horizon. Right, so had this central point in the apex up here, and if we draw a line from the top,
All right. Get that. Yeah.
we have
Da, da, da.
the
The
top,
roof.
yeah, and then this line is
Oh,
also over here.
Oh,
Our roof,
oh,
Okay.
which I'm very happy about.
Oh, it all comes together.
Yeah,
yeah.
Very beautifully.
works every time. For this type of building,
oh.
it's not too tall, and
Mine.
and if you were stood in front of it, this horizon line is kind of in line with your eyes. Does that make sense?
Oh.
You're looking out into
Yeah.
the distance and stood up. This horizon line is
No, 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 no.
where your eyes are,
Got you. Yeah.
and the building is above and below the horizon, and you're stood back from it. This is a really common point of view, and 2-point perspective is very good for it.
Good for rose streets as well, isn't it?
Rose Street.
Like
Yeah, you
Charles-
could put like house after house after house. Yes, you could do. Yeah, it's like a Welsh street. Yeah, you could repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. I'm pointing this out because if this was a skyscraper,
Mhm.
you might want to use 3-point perspective, but don't worry about that right now. It's a bit mind-boggling, but
I know, but it's good.
for a pen and ink drawing, this type of drawing is lovely for it. Okay, so before we do the next part with the windows, I'm going to take out. I'm going to use the rubber to lighten a lot of these lines. It
Uh-huh.
won't take it all out,
Oh,
You see, I can still see them a little bit. It's just,
Just take a picture, Penny, quickly.
oh, hang on, I'll put that line back in then.
Yeah, I'll take a picture. Ah,
What if I can do a snippet for you? I'll do a snippet.
okay, thanks.
No, I've not done this before, but I'm no. I just call it. I call it DP. Say that on the desktop. I go to chat, file. Desktop. Sorry, I'm talking as I'm doing it. I'm in tutor mode, so everything I do, I verbalize. I'm just looking through my desktop and grabbing this snippet.
I think I'm going to leave my eyes on.
I think over lockdown, I talk to myself a lot. I pretend it's Watson or Marlowe, but it's not really.
No, my cat talks to me a lot, you know. They always
Yeah.
have. It wasn't just lockdown, it's all the time.
Well, mine's got far worse.
Yes. Yeah. We've just had lunch together in a chat.
Yes, Watson's got his helmet of shame on again.
Oh no, what's he been up to?
He cut his leg. We had to take it to be stitched, love him.
Oh, what's he up to, the poor boy?
No, he's running through brambles, I think.
Good Lord.
Oh, there you
And off.
go. I've put a JPEG into the chat box, and that's a snippet of this image before I go on any further. Has that worked for you guys?
No,
Yeah.
Can't see anything.
it's not in the chat.
Really?
Uh,
From you to everyone. I don't know why you can't see that in the chat.
I've taken a photo. I've done a screenshot.
Maybe it is, but then no, I've got people moving. All I've got in the chat is the phone number.
Yeah, me too.
And it's not come up underneath.
No.
I can see it.
No, not yet.
I've got it.
It says to download, Penny.
Oh, there we go then. So it is there. You just need to
Yes.
download it. That's good. It's interesting to see how things work, you know. Right then. So that's there. And I'm now going to remove a load of these structural lines that I'm not going to need much of at the moment, but I can still see them because they'll be lighter. Just take that one out of the way. And that one. Right there. The inside of the building. Just take that away. We don't need all of this. Did all of that just to find out where that point was. So this angle here is the really difficult angle to get. This one here. That's the tricky one. And when you look at people's or drawings and artwork, take a look at that point and you'll be able to tell whether or not they use this method.
Terrible.
Although saying that, some people are just really lucky and they can just get it
Yeah.
straight away. I think sometimes I'm not actually the best artist in the world. I think that makes me a better person to try and work out how to work out the problem
Yes, that's right.
of
Yes,
drawing,
yes.
you know, rather than
Yeah.
being someone that can just see something and draw it, you know, like someone that plays the piano by just hearing a piece of music and then they can
Oh,
play it.
yes. I know.
Right.
Yeah, Jules Holland.
Feels how,
Oh,
yeah.
he's brilliant.
yeah. So I can't really do that. I have to read music.
Yeah, need the music. Yeah.
So I think it's the same with art for me. I have to This is like reading music. I have to go through the method, and then I know that I'm working with something that's constructed correctly.
Because it's quite disappointing when you've done a nice house and then you look back at the photo and think, oh, that's not right.
Well, this drawing is correct to this line that I began with, and the angles that I chose to work with. It's correct for itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It does.
It may not look like, you know, that the photograph is a reference, but I know that all of these points here, all these angles are correct with regard to this drawing.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing. Okay, so the door on this side of the building is in the center of the building,
Aha.
and to find the center, you draw a diagonal from one corner to the other corner.
So good. Like that, isn't it?
And I'm going to draw the vertical going straight up from then.
From the roof. Yeah, to the roof.
And the top of the door and the windows are all along the same line. And so I'm going to decide that they come down to about this far, and then draw a line from here to vanishing point 2. Now this is a bit of guesswork. And you see that line, oh, it's a bit low. So
Oh God, where am I?
draw it all the way down.
Vanishing point to vanishing point now.
That window line.
And the door runs all the way to the floor, but about halfway, the door is a window, and that can also be an indication for where the bottom of the windows are for these two windows, which will be here. So I've decided that between here and here, there's a halfway mark on this vertical. It's a bit of guesswork. And
Can you do that again? Sorry.
okay, so the top of the door is here,
Okay, got the door.
goes down
Yeah.
to the floor.
Yeah.
The door, half of it is in window, and windows come down to the same length
Mm-hmm.
as the windows on either side.
Oh, got you.
So to help find the bottom of the windows over here, I've marked a halfway point along this line. So this is the door, and I'm deciding that roughly here is a halfway line.
Okay, so that's a decision. It's not a mark. Okay, got that.
I'm making, and I'm
Yeah.
going to draw a
Yeah.
vanishing point from vanishing point 2 all the way through that line, and then
Cool.
out to here.
Right. And this is the windows. Halfway. Oh. Yeah. Windows. Blue is the windows.
Sometimes I wonder if I overcomplicate things, but I'm not sure. I think sometimes it's just needed. One thing finds another thing, you see, it's like a puzzle.
Yeah.
So the heights of the windows on the other side of the building here are the same as these two. So now I've got these 2 points here. I now know I can go to vanishing point 1 over here, and I can find my the height and the bottom part. So I'm going to draw a line all the way over here, and then this line all the way to vanishing point 1 over there. So now I know that there is the height and the bottom. Finding the width of these. Right.
Oh, this is for the windows on the other side.
Yeah.
Got you. Windows are blue.
Windows are
Blue pen.
blue.
I could also mention that these windows are set into the wall, but we'll figure that out in a little bit.
Oh, yes, set into the wall. Oh, I got windows. The blue line is windows. The red line's the roof, and the green line. Green door. Yes, green door.
Green door.
That's the one.
Right.
Fine.
There's 2 sets of windows on this side.
Oh dear.
If we make a decision and say
Yeah.
this is the center of the window, like the center of the 2 windows.
Yeah.
We say that's the center of the 2 windows. Now, if we make a decision and say on this side the window is this width, so this would be a measurement that I would make, and it will create 2 points. Width here, if you were stood in front of the building, so this is the height of the window, we've made a decision and said it's this width, right? So now I need to find out where this point is on this side. And to do that, we can use the diagonal trick to go through the top corner, through the center, because we know that's the center, and it will give us this the bottom left corner, and then we can go and do the same, going through the center up there, and that gives us the top left corner. So then we know what the what this measurement is over there. So we know that this bit is the center, and I'm now going to draw that diagonal going through that center, and I can see that this point is over here. I don't know how else you can find out what that measurement is in perspective.
Oh dear.
Goodness.
And then going up.
Oh, I can't see my lines now.
We now know that this side of the window is the same size as that window, but it's in perspective.
Crikey. So that one then needs to go. Right, so I've got this one.
I'm going to grab myself a coffee in a second.
Oh, please do. I can't. I'll need to catch up. I've lost that one.
Penny, can you just do the 2 crosses in the window again?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I've got it. Oh, no, I haven't. It's not that one.
Yeah, I can. I'll rub it out and I'll do it again.
I got the first one, then I'm going to pickle with the second one. It must be.
Yeah, because mine doesn't. What's it going through the centre of the wall?
Right. Earlier on,
It must
we
be.
made the
there.
diagonal,
Yeah, to make the centre of it.
so we need
Yeah.
the centre. When I rubbed out the lines, I didn't rub them out completely, so I could still see them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that this is the centre of those 2 windows.
Yeah.
I then made a decision, and if I was out in the field, I would measure from the central point to the width of the window, and I would then draw a vertical so that I knew I had the top and the bottom.
Vertical. What
Right,
did it?
it's the vertical out.
Yeah, that's what I did.
And then in order to create the diagonals, all I have to do is make sure that I go from the top corner and cross through the centre with a straight line, and I will find the other
Where the-
corner.
Oh, got you.
That's
And
why
it-
it didn't go to plan.
And it will go in perspective because I've got the perspective line ready on top.
Thank
I
you.
think
Yes,
it's very clever.
very clever. Oh dear.
Right, I'm going to grab myself a coffee. I need a coffee. I only put sugar in my coffee and I want something sweet. Back in a second.
Okay, I think I've got that. Oh, what's going on there?
But he's not happy. And a big window. Right, okay, that's fine.
Oh.
Oh,
Catty boy.
people's window work out? My window doesn't work out.
Well, I'm sort of half and half whether I've got it or not.
I think I got my window too high, so when I cross, my cross doesn't go anywhere into the centre of that window. If I try and go through the cross of the wall, I completely end up with a skewed window.
Yeah. Yes, the wall.
Because we're supposed to use the middle point of the wall in order to get the line, but if I do that,
Yeah.
I end up with a
So
twisted
you,
window.
first of all, you put your first vertical in. Then from that vertical, from the top of that, you go the diagonal one to the left through the centre line of the wall until you get to the line where you've put your window in. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Whatever is that noise?
I've no idea. Sounds like somebody squelching in wellies.
Oh no!
Right, so if that's the centre of the wall, that makes sense now. Yeah. Yeah, I can. Yeah, got it.
You need to pass all the gate. There's so many from gate, from garden gate.
Hello?
But there is nowhere to park.
I was saying mine doesn't really work out, Penny, and I think it's because my windows are too high. So if I try and cross through the middle point of the wall, I end up with a skewed window.
Can I see yours? Please?
Well, I've cheated by just drawing it by eye. Well, so I cheated by just drawing that other line by eye, but if I did it through the cross, from the corner of the window through the middle of the wall, it's not in the right place.
Right?
It's in perspective, so if you do go through the centre.
If I drew from the top corner,
You've made it, I can see that you've made a mark.
yeah, I mean, I've got the middle point of the wall there, and I tried to go from there through that to there, and I ended up in the wrong place. Because then when I went the opposite way, it didn't work at all.
Oh, I see.
So I ended up just drawing it by eye.
I see.
Oh.
But I can't see why it doesn't work. It just, I think my whole windows are too high.
No, I think there's a problem with my method.
Oh, right.
Mine
It worked on yours beautifully.
but yours looks right.
I know, but I did it by eye.
Yeah.
Let me have a think a minute.
If you just draw one wall, stick a centre in it, and do that line and that line.
Ah, I know. Right, I know what it is.
Okay.
Right. I'm going to correct my method.
Oh. Just
Right.
want to work.
I've realised what's happened. I'm going to rub this out.
Oh no.
Oh, no, no. Oh, damn.
Oh, this is a major catastrophe.
Yeah,
I've got all my notes on it.
yeah.
Yours is in a different colour.
Yeah, mine's a blue window.
Okay. The line that we are okay with, that we're happy with, is this
Yeah.
line, the
Yeah.
vertical line here.
Yeah, yeah.
I was happy with both.
Okay. The centre of the windows is here, but the centre vertically, we weren't sure. On Liz's one, it wasn't going to work. So
Oh, I'm all confused.
so this line here,
Yeah.
we need to find the centre of this line.
Yeah.
This is the line that I should have been using. So it's my mistake.
Oh, I see.
Okay, don't worry.
It's my mistake. I was using that point in the centre, but I think it's just because it was a fluke. This is the line that I should have used, and have that go towards
All right, okay.
the vanishing point.
So go through the centre of the wall.
So the side of the window here,
Yeah,
we have a height.
we do.
I need
Yeah.
to find the centre of that whole window section. And
Yeah.
I have the vertical line in the centre of my from earlier. So I was happy with that. But
Okay.
the horizontal centre
Yeah. what's that?
was incorrect. I should have taken it from the halfway point of this line.
Yeah, but
So,
Halfway point of the line on the window.
so we made a decision that this window here was
Yeah.
this width away from that central point. I was able to draw a vertical, and I should have chosen the halfway point of that
yeah,
line.
but yeah.
If my window isn't, the halfway point of my window is not the same as that halfway point of the wall.
That's correct. That's what will happen with Liz as well.
Do it from the bottom of the window up to the vanishing point, and then do a horizontal down through where?
So the halfway point of this line, you take a vanishing point and you draw a line to the vanishing point 1. And then where that horizontal
So
line,
for the halfway point of the window, you need to measure it or guess it.
Yeah.
from here to here is a guess.
Yeah, got you now.
And once we have this guess and this line here,
Right.
we split it in half so we know that the centre is there.
Yeah, got it.
And then we take that horizontal to the vanishing point 1.
And then we go diagonally down.
And then we got this diagonal.
It was.
Yeah, mine's almost the same.
Oh, mine's almost, well, nearest.
I think it depends on where you put your windows.
Yeah. Anyway, it's there now, so it's fine.
Well, we've managed it now.
Yeah.
I do apologise. I think I think, you know, it's just these things happen. It's much better that we notice
It's not
Yeah.
easy.
odd things happening and then correct them.
It worked on yours the first time because yours was centred so beautifully in the middle of your wall.
Yeah.
Which was just a fluke, really.
But obviously mine wasn't.
That's probably what confused me because I was
Go
going
on.
to the wall. So you do that, and a halfway point there. Do that, and you go to the vanishing point.
And I was feeling so clever.
No, it worked.
You are.
Well, you're clever now because you got it worked out for any wall.
Must be a nightmare to teach.
Right. halfway window, then vanishing point.
Okay. So I'm interested now, Liz. How does it look now?
Looks fine now. In fact, where I'd guessed was about right, but obviously it was a guess.
May I have a look, please? Brilliant.
Down to the bottom. Yeah.
That works, doesn't it? Excellent.
Got it, got it, got it.
Great. David and Barry, is that all working for you and Kate?
It is, yeah, it's looking good.
Yeah. Did you have to make a correction?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
Good.
Oh, someone's gone ahead.
that's lovely.
Okay.
Wow.
David,
Now I've got to line up with my
Funny.
other vanishing point. There we are.
Can I have a quick look at yours? I'd like to see how you're getting on.
Yeah.
That's looking good. You know what? I'm gonna make one window in there.
No, I'm all right with one.
Make it into one window. Faith, you all right? Do you want to show us yours?
Yeah. Can you see it?
Hang on, let me make you look bigger. Oh, hold it up a bit more. Yeah, that's about right.
Is it?
I've got the sunlight on there, but I can. Yeah, it's roughly right. I think it looks okay. It might be.
I think the roof is too. I've gone wrong somewhere.
Oh, I can't see the roof very well. I can see the apex on this side. It's okay, but I can't see the other side of it. Oh, I think it's okay. It might be a little bit. The angles might be slightly varying, but it's okay because it's just it's a practice sketch.
Yeah.
And if you have another go, this is recorded, so we can always have another go. Just don't do the mistakes that I did before.
You think you've got it, and then it
Hmm.
goes. That's what happens with me.
You lose
We
what
can
light-
replay this, though, can't we?
Hmm?
We can replay this video later.
Good point.
I thought this would take up most of the lesson, to be honest. So I must remember it's this line.
Yeah.
Okay. Right then. So we need to do a similar thing with the door.
Gosh. Was that then?
But we have already decided the halfway mark. So if we decide that the door, half of the door here, and it's not the actual door, it's the wall around the door. You know, because the door is it's set inside the building. So this
Oh, for heaven.
Oh, goodness.
before we go on, let me just show you the picture. Can you see the building?
Yeah.
Right, got it. Yeah.
So the door is set inside the building. Can you see
Yeah.
it's set inside there?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can make it nice and
Mhm.
Oh,
so the line that I'm drawing now is this edge here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mhm.
and we've got a central point here that we found earlier, and we're going to draw this rectangle around the door, but not the actual door. It's just this rectangle of the wall.
mm.
Okay,
Okay.
you all okay? Or you had enough?
I'm confused.com.
So this line that we're drawing here on the door, can you see my mouse, by the way? You probably can't see my mouse. No,
No.
my hand. This line here, that line, is the same line that I'm going to draw. This bit here. Can you see my mouse on this part?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that bit there is what I've just drawn on here, that bit there.
All right.
Okay. Now, we made a decision about the halfway point of this section here, this halfway line. Which,
Oh, yeah. That's right, yeah.
we're going to draw a vertical, a diagonal through that line. We know the wall comes out on the other side. You know, there still may be some gaps in my knowledge, and I'm going to have to check this method. But I'm not even sure where I would be able to check this method. But I will double check it. And if I'm doing something strange here, I'll have to come back to it.
No, I
But we have a diagonal going through this point and through that point, so that we've got the wall on the other side. And I'm taking out some of these lines because sometimes there's just too many lines to deal with all at once.
It gets quite messy with all the diagonals.
It does. So I'm just taking some of them out. Now that I've found the vertical that I want, I'm just taking out some of those diagonals.
Mm.
What I'm worried about here is that I decided that this was the center, like the halfway point in my floor, and I used the center line, and then I drew a vanishing point all the way from here to here.
Mhm.
So I'm a little bit concerned that this part of the method over here wasn't completely right. And I don't want to be horribly confusing, but I feel that I should have drawn a line in the center from top to bottom and measured halfway in there and then drew that vanishing point.
Mm.
Does that make
Mm.
sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
sometimes through teaching, you get really into the nitty gritty of the extent of some, you know, of your knowledge sometimes. But this is the central line. So the vanishing point, the line to the vanishing point cuts through the outside edge here and then comes through here to that line. So on Liz's one, it'll probably be all right, but to be more accurate, I think it should have been the central line.
Okay.
Right.
In the
Yeah.
same way, the door, we had a central line for the door. I made a decision for the halfway line from there, so I could find the bottom part of the windows on this side, and I drew a line all the way to vanishing point 2 and drew it all the way through to here. So on this side, I was probably going more right. And oh, you know, and I get hot and flustered when I'm like correcting my own mistakes when I'm teaching. It's really embarrassing.
Right.
Hmm.
Okay.
I tried to think I'm going to finish the windows now. Go for
We'll
it.
do it like that.
Okay.
Right. So we need to add those lines in, do we? Oh, of course. It's
This
coming.
is our door. This is
Got
the
you.
entrance to our door.
So we need to do a cross in.
And so if I needed that and I needed it there, I could do it.
Don't we?
Right.
Oh, sorry, I'm going ahead.
Okay.
Hello.
Now, I'm just going to flick back to the picture to show you something. The windows here, I'm not entirely sure if the window is set in the centre of this space. I'm not entirely sure about it. But the way I'm going to draw it is as if these are in the centre of this wall,
Yeah.
because I feel that they're so close to being in the centre that they're worth placing in the centre. Although I've got a feeling they're slightly closer to the door on either side than they are
Yeah.
to the outside end of the wall. But for the sake of measurements today, we're just going to say that they're in the centre. Okay.
Why not?
Okay.
So
So to find the centre of this area, because this is where the door or the wall starts, I have now a diagonal that I can draw corner to corner, and the same on the other side.
what? Oh no. Am I going a bit dippy, or shouldn't it just be a diagonal between the two window lines?
It will be. This is the
Okay,
centre of the
no problem.
window. I needed to find the centre of that space. I now have the centre of the window.
Okay. Oof. Well, have you got enough pens, Julie?
Hmm?
Oh, you got enough different colours?
No,
Oh, stop then, have you?
I think I might have fallen asleep. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, I shouldn't let me go.
I think I've got it though.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So
we
there's
have
in there and there.
the centre of the window there. Let's get rid of these diagonals because they'll be confusing.
Yeah, got that.
Centre there.
So I at least know the centre of each window.
Yeah, got that.
Yeah.
Good. And I'm going to just make a quick adjustment and guess that this
Yeah,
is
just do the same thing there.
roughly around here. And if we take the central line and follow it to the wall, this is the centre
Yeah, take
the window, and we should be able to travel
That's
back.
Centre line and follow to the wall. Okay.
vanishing point 2. Yeah, got it. Goes there.
And I made it
Then you do a
the window was that big, and I'm going to do another diagonal.
There, I think.
Through there.
Yep. Oh, that's right.
We've got that window.
Oh, does it go through both? Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Oh, I'm pleased with that.
Oh, that's it.
I like those sounds. And
Yeah, go
I'm
right
just going to have to make a judgment here. If I was out in the field, I would measure this bit here. I'm sure there's probably another way of figuring it out, but
So now
put that gap there. So now I can draw a diagonal through there and through here,
okay, that's fair enough.
and a vertical to the back part of the window.
Right.
You've got a rough idea of where that is. That's being drawn with a pencil, but there you go. We have 2 inlets for the windows. Oh,
Well, hang on a minute. So how do I know? You know, between the door and the window on the right, there's that space.
Round, don't you? You don't have to measure that. You just follow round.
this was a
How
little
do I know
judgment.
that I'm in line on the other side, that I've got the same amount of space
It's
when
a
I
guess.
put my vertical line in?
This one's a guess. So I had the central line here, and if I was
Yeah.
out in the field, I would measure that gap.
Yeah.
So do we make the window on the right as big as the window on the left? How do we
No,
know how
No.
wide to do it?
Well, if you were out in the field, you would measure the center of that window to the edge.
Mhm.
I don't know how to. I don't know
So
how.
it's not the same as the one on the other side?
If you were out in the field, you would
Mhm.
measure the center point from here to here, like this. You remember how this measurement, the width, we had the
Yeah.
vertical, we measured that one, and then we made
Yeah.
it horizontal. We made a measurement
Yeah.
here to here. Sometimes you just have to measure, so half the window from the center to the outside edge, we would measure that and say, okay, that's that width. We know where the center is, and so we create this measurement here. That creates that vertical, and then we can draw the diagonals and find the measurement of the width on this side of the window.
Okay.
And we had the center line to here, so we knew where to measure from the center, and then we measured the width of that part of the window, which would then give us the corners and allow us to draw the diagonals and for to find out this part of the window.
Right.
Because everything is in perspective. So if it was on the side of the building, if it was like flat on, it would be easier. We'd say you would be able to go, oh, that's the center, and this is the center of that part of the building, and that is the center of that part of the building.
Yeah.
And you'd be able to measure, you'd be able to measure the door. And so we'll draw the door. So the door, you'd be able to measure it, and this measurement here would be the same as that measurement. Yeah?
Yeah.
The same with the windows. This measurement here would be the same as this part. So we would have the central line would be, there'll be equal measurements on either side. But when you make converging lines going like this, everything is getting smaller. So that line there, or this gap here, the gap here is for it to be the same here, so it's that one there, it's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. If I was to draw it freehand, you just get smaller and smaller lines going closer and closer together. You see? But these would all be the same gap. Imagine that was all buildings there. Going up, they'd all get smaller and smaller and smaller at each increment. So we have to be aware of that all the time, really. That the width measurements change because they're going in perspective. all of this learning that you're doing, even though that we've made some mistakes, sometimes that makes things more memorable.
Yes, that's right. It does.
So I'm not entirely upset that
No, you shouldn't be upset.
You upset? That,
well, no,
Oh, yeah.
but you know that there's a little bit of confusion going on, but sometimes that learning process, you know, you've contributed towards it by just discovering myself.
I understand it better because you had to do it again, so it helped that actually.
That's good then. Great. Right. So let's get rid of some of these lines that we don't need. We don't need this centre line. We just need the outside of the window. Now remember that this is the wall around the window and the window is set inside. And we could spend lots of time getting accurate measurements for all of these little bits, but I think we should just sketch them in.
if I see that.
And I'm just going to show you a little trick. Rather than getting too complicated about things. This corner, in the bottom here, the window, we've got a little bit of wall. It's the same position as this wall because it's going in. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll draw it like a big box over here, right? This wall, it's going in. And
Yeah, I got that. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
we can see something like this. So
Oh,
what
yeah.
we do is just draw a little line, not all the way, just a little line, as if it's going towards vanishing point 1. And we'll do that on all of them. Just it's such a small gap, and I'm sure it probably gets smaller as we get over here. So just make a guess. We've got these little diagonals coming in, and then create a vertical, and this is actually where our window begins.
Yeah.
Oh, if it comes round from the side.
Window.
And we have a little line
Oh,
on the top of the window, shadow created by the door, and then, okay.
Oh, that looks better. Right.
Right.
Doors on that side.
If I go back to the picture again, just so that you have an idea of what we're doing. So these windows are slightly hidden behind, like this panel, the window is slightly hidden behind that part of the wall. And we can see more of it there. The same with all of them. And I think we should just sketch that in
Yeah.
with a bit of guesswork.
Okay.
We know that the centre is there. Let's just
Just one on the bottom.
draw a little box. That one's going behind the window pane over there.
that's not central, that window.
That's very wonky windows.
I still haven't got my window central on this left-hand side.
So the what, this one?
No, on the left-hand side at the front.
Oh, so this line won't be so much in the centre because it's set into the building. It'll be
Yeah, that's.
so,
Ah, right. So I have done it right. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
so if I make the thing
Right, I just couldn't work it out. Right, got you. It is right. It's just me.
so there's my window, and I recommend just sketching this in
Sod.
a bit more freehand.
Oh gosh.
Did you do anything on the left? It's just I'm getting quite a poor quality image. On the left-hand side windows where there's no indentation, do you do anything?
Well, there's actually, yeah, you can see the way that we did this line over here, because that's going that way.
Yeah.
Do a little line as if it's going towards there, and then draw the
It
inside.
goes that way. Yeah, right. That's where it disappeared.
And do you know what? I'm just going to draw one window on there, even though there's two windows on the original building. And that way is going that way, so little shadow. That one window. I literally just get you a rough impression of the windows now, and the bottom here
We got the middle of that.
on the door.
You can do that at the moment.
To the window line.
No. Yes.
I'm still looking at. No, I think it is, but I just.
I know I've got some wonky windows going on. I'm just we could follow all these measurements again, but I'm just drawing in the panes of glass which look quite dark. Sometimes it's easier to just draw the blocks of
Oh, mine's
the
just.
dark shadows inside the house, and you use the I'm using the putty rubber just to mark out the panes of the glass.
Yeah, it's going to be like that. No, it's still doing it.
Okay, I'm not going to draw the bench in front of the house in a moment. I think we can.
Oh, good.
It's not in the middle. That's not right.
That's it. Got it.
But something else we do want to be able to put into the picture is that we've got rocks making up this wall, and they're positioned. So some of them are a bit wonky, but if you use the vanishing point lines, so that some of the rocks on the wall are in there, they will also be in perspective a little bit. Can you see what I'm doing here?
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can kind of make this up, but just use it as a bit of a guidance, so that they all run together, and you can sort of make them up as you like. Actually, that's actually quite fun, that part. And this wall also extends out to here, and you can use. There's a wall over here, and we got rocks and things over here. And you can use the vanishing points to help make the rock. Basically, it's a stone wall, you can make it up, but use a little bit of perspective so it's more convincing. Oh.
We got the centre right, so if I go that bit there. I do need that one. It's a loud one, isn't it?
A space cat.
Oh.
Oh, she's a real pain.
Oh.
What's their name again? I've forgotten. Faith.
Fun?
What's their name?
What's her breed?
No, name.
Oh, Ella.
Erla.
Ella.
Ella. Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I thought you said other.
As in Ella Fitzgerald.
Ah.
Ah. I see.
She's half Siamese, which is why she's so noisy.
Ah, right. Okay.
She's really old though, isn't she? Didn't you
She's
say
18.
Wow, that's good.
22? Didn't you say?
Hmm?
She's 22.
18.
Oh, 18. Oh, wow.
That's very good. Yeah, they certainly have a distinctive meow, doesn't she?
Oh.
Mm.
I'm used to it when I'm here on my own, but when I'm doing a Zoom thing, it's
Quite good. She's giving you about an hour and 40 minutes. Normally only gives you about an hour.
and I fed her Penny in between.
Oh, doesn't she go to bed after lunch? My two just go and flop after lunch.
Right.
Well, no, it's yeah.
Let's pop the chimney on.
Mm.
Oh,
Oh
no.
yeah, the chimney.
Oh.
So it's set onto the roof, and to create this line, make a little. This is the bottom of the chimney, and let's run a line that's almost parallel to this line. It might not be the most accurate line in the world, but it'll be convincing enough. So that's the base of the chimney. Then we can draw a vertical going straight up, and one on the back here going straight up. Decide on the height of the chimney on the corner that's closest to you, and then using the vanishing point 2, draw a slight diagonal from the front to the back, and then to find the back line, go to vanishing point 1, and we're going to guess the back here. If I was out in the field, I would measure the width here. Well, from the centre point to there. But I can just guess it, and I think you can go by eye. I think you're fine with that. And then draw a little cylinder for the chimney pot coming out on either side. This is a massive chimney pot. A little ring. This is a huge chimney. The most important thing is we've got this space with the what would be a horizontal if you're looking at it straight on is actually in accordance with all the other vanishing points. The most important thing about today's lesson is that all the conversion lines that go to vanishing point 2 reach that point, and then all the vanishing points that are meant to go to vanishing point 1, all those conversion lines run together, so that if you were standing in front of this wall, everything would be parallel to each other. So as long as all the lines run to the vanishing point 1, then it'll be fine. Oh, teaching perspective. Ooh.
Ah. Gorgeous.
On the video, did you do another line, sort of like where the gutter was or something?
I'm going to go through it, but yeah,
Got the gutter in.
yeah. Shall
And,
we have a quick look at the video again, rather than me draw it in again? Let's.
Sorry, Penny.
No, it's fine. I'm just going to do this so that I don't mind at all, because we'll probably notice some mistakes that I made on this one now that we've done all this, but we shall see. Right. So I'm going to play this again as to just recap what we've done.
Oh, tea's going
So we decided on the horizon line, created the vanishing point, decided on the width, found the black hole, in order to create the apex. And I think I made loose judgments about these areas. I think I've been more detailed today than I have been in this drawing. But it is interesting to go over all of the intricate details. You don't need my kids. So, there we go.
So there is a gutter down the left, isn't there? And then along the top,
Yeah.
downpipe and a gutter.
Yeah, I know.
Are we're drawing it again next week, aren't we? Before we paint, are we?
Can I see that sketch again, please?
Which one?
The one you just showed with the bench outside.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the one I want.
You want the bench? Right here.
Yeah.
Well, mine's just lots of lines and vanishing points. I don't.
Yeah, mine.
Yeah, I couldn't paint over this.
Did you?
No.
Oh no, you can't paint on this one. This is all
No.
practice. Look, shall I show you the watercolor one that we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh dear.
So with a pencil onto the it's all a bit more accurate, I guess. I recommend doing the pencil drawing for next week.
Okay.
Work that out, and then we will do the ink work before we paint.
Okie doke. So we'll draw it before we have the lesson. Is that right?
Yeah. So if you go up to this point,
That
and
makes sense.
then we'll ink it.
Yeah.
And the way that I'm using the ink here is like a broken line, or sometimes it's a full line, but I try and vary the weight and thickness and structure of the line.
Okay.
Once we've got all the pen and ink in, we do like one of the most satisfying things in art, and then put out all the pencil marks and leave that nice line. And in fact, I think I have this pen and ink. I think I have this pen and ink drawing. I think I scanned it in. So I have this
Oh yeah.
as a separate image somewhere.
Nice.
And then we'll do the wet on wet, which we practiced in week 1 with burnt sienna and ultramarine. This is lemon yellow and light green to make a really bright foreground. And then we sort of using more of the burnt sienna and ultramarine to make these various browns and blues, greys. They're the same colours that I use in the sky. So it's quite nice to use burnt sienna and ultramarine in variations of, in one painting in order to bring the painting together like gives it a nice consistency. So even in the brickwork there, I'm using the burnt sienna and ultramarine in various
That's
consistencies.
nice. It's a lovely little place.
I'm going to paint there, I think, one day when we can. Let's all go there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Penny, could you send us the basic outline that we're supposed to be getting up to?
Yeah, I thought I put it on there. Look, let me put it on the cluster gallery.
Okay.
That's nice.
Let's put it on there so I don't forget. Right. It's here. I did scan it. Excellent. Great.
Watercolours.
Right then. I do like this cluster gallery, so it's there.
Right, that's great. So we've got to get to that stage.
No, just do the pencil drawing.
Oh,
Right.
right.
Okay.
Pencil drawing. And you can zoom in on this if you want. It's well, it's not very sharp, isn't it? You could save an image as, and you could save it to your desktop.
Yeah.
And you right click and you can save it.
Okay.
I've got a feeling that cluster gallery has reduced the resolution, but there we go. I'll probably put that drawing up on the computer in here as well on this page. I was going to run through some pen and ink techniques, but I think the only thing that I'll do I can't actually do anything right now because my I think my camera's died.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that's died.
I know. Heard it beeping.
Quite frankly, I feel that we've got as far as we need to go today. That's a bit funny. But what I thought we might get a little bit further along, but I actually don't mind that we didn't. But if you I have some pen and ink techniques.
Oh, yeah. Done those. Sarah, you've done those, haven't you?
Yes.
You haven't.
It's nice to
Yeah.
have a little bit of a practice experimenting
Yeah.
with your pen
Yeah.
if you want
We
to.
did a day class, didn't we?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the line work that's good to have a go with is this sort of broken line.
Yeah.
You can do straight lines are like this, but a broken line is much nicer for a sketch of a building.
Yes.
Especially this sort of thing on the rooftop. And here's some more broken line examples.
Oh, lovely.
I'm still updating everything on my website as much as I can. And there are some pages that are under construction and some that are more complete than others. I will be doing a pen and ink technique page, and I will be uploading these different things.
They're
But there
nice.
won't be explanations to go with them because I will be doing classes with these things. I'm just going to pop them up and
Oh, there's a fish there. Look.
just as ideas or things to accompany the classes.
Okay.
How are you all doing? Perspective probably gives people a headache.
Fine, now I've worked it out.
Oh, Barry, that looks bad. Dave, how's yours? Hold it up a bit more.
Ooh.
Well, that looks convincing enough. I think whatever I've taught you, it seems to have worked.
Okay.
That's great. Mal, have a look at yours, please. Oh, that looks fab. It looks like a little cottage, but could be anything. Lovely.
I'm going for a lie down. Penny.
Sarah, I don't blame you. Yeah.
Can you see that? The
That's
points
about-
going on to the page.
Yeah. You got a lot of your lines stayed in there. That's okay.
Yes.
Quite good for references.
Oh, yes.
there.
My
How's yours?
reference book.
How's yours, Julie?
Oh, sorry.
That's it.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah. You've got all your notes on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Where am I?
And Liz, can I see yours, please? That's it. Nice. And Faith, you want to show yours, Faith?
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
Well, come over a little bit to the left, a bit more. That's it. Oh no, the other way, the other left. Get up a bit. That's it.
So,
That's okay. You're yeah, it's all fine. The verticals could be a bit more vertical and parallel but I think it looks lovely, actually. You know that sometimes when the verticals aren't quite vertical, it makes it almost like a 3-point perspective, as if you're looking up at the building.
Mm.
It's okay. Lovely. Well done, everyone.
Oh,
Yeah, I love your lion in the background there.
I know, it looks like it's creeping up behind you. And
Oh, it's
getting-
lovely. You know what? I'd make a lovely duvet cover. You know, if you scanned it or made a copy of it, and or a blanket or some sort. I'd love that.
It is gorgeous.
it is gorgeous. Yeah.
Lovely.
Very,
Oh.
very.
But you know what? I'm absolutely worn out after that.
Yeah, so am I.
No, I know how to do 3-point perspective now.
Oh,
Oh,
and that-
No, I'm not.
no.
2-point perspective.
2-point
3
perspective
points.
is do you know though that the more that you practice this, you start to realise it's in everything. So
Yeah.
if you're looking at a face straight on, you got 1-point perspective.
Mm.
You know, you've got things face on, but your ears are going off into a vanishing point behind somewhere, you know, like as if your face is in a box. As soon as you put it to 3/4 this way, right? This is the same as the building.
Mm.
My zygomatic arch or my cheekbone here is that corner of the building.
Yeah.
This is my corner of the building.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
see my face in a box, the lines of my eyes go off on a perspective point to the horizon. Same with my ears. This helps with my glasses, so you can see those perspective lines.
Mm.
It's horizontal. That way, we're going in perspective. So this is the same for the face, the rib cage, the body, a vase. You know, if you're not a vase, it's circular, that's complicated. But you know, if you're drawing anything in a room, the whole room, you're inside a box then. So you've got all sorts of perspective lines then. But this will help you if you can at least understand the 2-point perspective.
Yeah, got
All
it.
your conversion lines must come off the top and bottom of some vertical line that's parallel to all the other vertical lines. You will be halfway there to making really good drawings, as long as the building is not a skyscraper. You know, even so, like, you know, 2-point perspective, you could mostly get away with it if the well, you can imagine that on a very tall building that point there, if you were looking right up at the top, would start to look like that. But it is possible, you know, to have, you know, you could draw it all in 2-point perspective, and you could draw an elevated building with no perspective, and that's isometric drawing, and that's what people use for design. You know, if you're creating a mechanical machine, or you know, you wanted all of this to scale, you make it isometric, which is another thing.
Which we won't do now. Our head's blowing.
Yeah.
If you're an architect or a design engineer, you wouldn't need all of this. Would be a concept drawing. But if you were drawing a picture to scale, you would have to use a method called isometric. But I am really just going off on one now, aren't I?
Yeah, that's too.
Did you enjoy it? That's the main thing.
It was really interesting.
It is. I think so.
It was
Yeah.
good.
Yes, thank you, Penny.
Right then,
Boiled my brain.
yeah. Well, we've got 5 minutes left. Has anyone got any more comments?
Are we putting a bench in?
Oh yes.
Oh, we can do. Yeah.
Okay.
To follow the same rules.
Right, okay.
I would recommend having a go. So have your drawing ready, and then you can do the pen and ink. It's quite nice, and then we'll get the wet and wet washes Because the wet and wet washes shouldn't take too long.
Will we do it on watercolour paper, Penny?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
do it on watercolour paper.
Thank you.
Remember, when you're doing all your sketching, don't press too hard with the pencil. So
Right.
you're able to rub out most of the lines that you don't need.
Yes,
Okay.
that's something I've got to do.
And then you'll need burnt sienna, ultramarine, lemon yellow, light green, or even viridian's actually quite good mixed with lemon yellow. That makes a nice bright green.
Oh,
And then that's it.
I've got some graphy tint ones.
Oh, what's that?
I might try it in that.
What is it?
Well, they're like graphite. Well, let me show you. They're sort of graphite-y.
Oh,
So I thought that might be quite nice for a building.
tint paint.
Well, that's
Ah.
good. I'll give them a
Okay.
test, see what they look like. And if they're not, I will do it in a normal one.
Yeah, go.
So that went, Sarah?
Sorry, darling?
That went, the box of it?
Yes, it
Paint.
is. Derwent Graphy Tint Paint Pan Set.
Yeah, it's got it.
Well then. They're
I
nice.
just won £25 on the premium bonds. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, they're nice, but I haven't done a big picture in it. But I thought that would
Oh,
be
try those.
okay. Maybe not.
Remember, everybody, I mean, you may not be interested, but I just thought I'd mention it while we've got a couple of minutes. I do life drawing sessions on a Thursday evening, if you fancy it. Or if you-
That this or next week?
What's that, Julie?
Is it this week?
It's on this Thursday, and
Oh, right.
if you go buy online, it's the it started last week, but I've adjusted the price so it's for the next 4 weeks of October.
Yeah, okay.
And if you just fancy having a go and to try it, there's a £5
Yeah.
drop in on the 14th of October, or
Go
there's the occasional long pose on a Sunday.
Go
Excellent.
14.
So where's
Oh,
the life model? Is the life model in their own home?
No, they come round yours.
Quick off the mark, Sarah. They're somewhere in their house. They set up an area for their house.
When you did it in Revolution, were they in the room?
Yes, they were. Yeah, in the middle of the room.
It must be quite difficult to get their whole body in the picture through Zoom.
So you know, when we held out the pencil earlier, as if we were to measure the building. So if somebody is about 10 or 12 feet away, you put your pencil at the top of their head, you come down to their head, say, it normally makes a measurement about that big.
Mhm.
It fits on the page about 6.5 heads high, and on an A3 piece of paper, that's a good spacing. So it's quite interesting. I would try it actually. Look at an object in your house, say like a jug or something, put it on the shelf, stand about 5 foot away from it, put your arm out and see how big it is, the sight size, and you'll find that it's actually quite small.
Mm.
It's really interesting. So
Yeah.
sight size is
Lovely, aren't they? They're really good.
yeah, you think that everything that we see goes through a little tiny pupil, and it goes through that tiny little hole. So everything that we see in the world is just going through our tiny little eye. So at this distance, about here, it's only about this big.
Yeah,
It gets a bit strange when you start to think about everything that we see like that.
Mm.
It turns the brain inside out, but you know, that's what it does. Then it turns it upside down, then it goes to the back of the brain, then it turns back up the other way. Right then,
Yes,
that's
it's
3
lovely.
o'clock.
Thank you, Penny. You need to
Thank
lie
you, Penny.
down now. You've worked so hard.
It's been a wonderful day.
Thank you. It's
Cheered me up, friend.
busy on a Tuesday, don't we, Sarah and Julie? Julie and Sarah come to my morning class as well.
Yes.
Wow.
We've had a brilliant day, haven't we?
We've had a lovely day. Yeah.
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 Did
absolutely
you do the
lovely.
same thing this morning or something else?
I did acrylic painting techniques this morning,
Wow.
so that was fun.
Yeah.
Right then, I'm off.
Thanks, Penny.
Thanks, bye.
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 Bye.